All right, here's the, oh, I can't spell. Chapter 8 review. Okay, number 1. Says find the first 6 terms and the 6th partial sum of the sequence. So not all of the partial sums, it just wants the 6th one. So it says 2n squared minus n. So a1, you're putting in 1. So 1 squared is 1, times 2 is 2, 2 minus 1 would be 1. A2, this is not a recursive. We're just plugging in the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and see what happens. So 2 squared is 4, times 2 is 8, 8 minus 2 is 6. A3, 2 times 3 squared minus 3. 3 squared is 9, times 2 is 18, minus 3 is 15. Four squared, 16, times 2 is 32, minus 4 is 28. Five squared is 25, times 2 is 50, and 50 minus 5 is 45. And the last one, six squared is 36, times 2 is 72, minus 6 is 66. And so then the other part of the question says, and the 6th partial sum. So they want this. They're not asking for all 6, which again, remember, if it was asking for that, it would say S1, S2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you just add the consecutive things. When it's asking for this, all we're going to do is add up the numbers that we got. So 66 plus 45 plus 28 plus 15 plus 6 plus 1. And I got 161. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2. Gives, it says A1 is 2. And it says find the first 6 terms. And so when you're doing that, don't forget, if they give you a number to begin with, don't forget that that's part of it. Like if you say the first 6 terms and you give me 6 answers past that, you're not actually giving me the first 6 terms, you're giving me the first 7 terms. So keep that in mind that you want to include that one. So now, in order to get A2, here's what's going to happen. When you're doing that, that's the same thing as saying A1 plus 1. So 1 is your n for this thing. So 3 times A1 minus 1. Well, 3 times A1 is 2 minus 1. 3 times 2 is 6, minus 1 is 5. And when you're finding A3, that's like saying A2 minus plus 1. So that's saying 3 times A2 minus 2. Or 3 times 5 minus 2. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 2 is 13. So if you haven't noticed already, when I'm doing the 4th one, not that I need to write all these out all the time, but what I'm saying is I'm just saying the previous answer minus the new n. So 3 times 13 minus 3. 3 times 13 is 39. Minus 3 is 36. So just to kind of bypass to get us going a little bit, the 5th one, I'm going to jump over to here. We're going to go 3 times 36 minus 4. And 3 times 36 is 108, and 108 minus 4 is 104. And the last one, 3 times 104 minus 5. So 312 minus 5, 307. So there's your first 6 terms of that recursive formula. That's number 2. Number 3 gives you 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, bump, bump, bump. Find the common difference. So again, what number are you adding or subtracting by every time to get the next one? Looks like you're adding 3. So your common difference is 3. The formula for any arithmetic sequence is a1 plus n minus 1 times that d. So a1 in this problem was 2. N minus 1 times 3. Don't forget to put that probably in parentheses, just because if it was subtraction, you want to make sure that it is multiplied by the n minus 1 and not just subtracted from it, so you get the wrong answer. Sometimes you can leave it like this is fine, but you can also distribute that if you'd like to make it a little bit easier, and you get 2 plus 3n minus 3, or 3n minus 1. So either this one or that one is acceptable for the a sub n. And then it says the 35th term. So to be fair, you could go 2 plus 35 minus 1 times 3, which would be all right. Or you could go 3 times 35 minus 1. Like either way, it's going to give you the same answer. And either way, I get 104. That's number 3. Number 4 gives you 12, 3, 3/4, 3/16, 3/64, bump, bump, bump. So this one tells you it's geometric, so you're finding the common ratio. Remember, to find the ratio, you just take 2 consecutive ones and divide them. So 3 over 12 reduces down to 1 over 4, or 1/4. So that is your common ratio. The formula is a1 times r to the n minus 1. Or in this problem, 12 times 1/4 to the n minus 1. I always put the ratio in parentheses just so I don't screw up a sign if it's an issue, okay? And then it says the 10th term. And typically for geometric ones, it does not go very far. It's not going to give you like the 30th number because those numbers could get very, very large. But what you would do here, do not multiply first. You do the 10 minus 1 up in the exponent first. I'm just doing this as if I'm going step by step. Then you do 1/4 to the 9th power. So when you do a fraction to a power like that, you do them each separate. So that's 1 over not equals, then that. And then when you multiply it straight across the top, so 12, this will be over 1, so it's 262, 144. Like I didn't change that. And then on my calculator, if I divide those, I get a decimal. And if I math frac it, hopefully, it didn't give me that. So if I did, the biggest thing is that I got 4.5776 e to the negative 5th. Don't forget the e. If you just put the 4.5776, you're not right. Now, if you were to divide that out, if you were to reduce the fraction, let's see. And 4 looks like it's the biggest number that can go into both of them. I tried 12, I tried 6, so this is going to give me 6, 5, 5, 3, 6, and that'll give me 3 when I reduce it. So either way, those two would be acceptable for the 10th number. So that's number 4. Number 5. It gives you A1 is 25, and it says it's a geo, and the 4th term is 1/5. So we want to find the common ratio in the 5th term and then the sum of the first 8 terms. So remember, A1 r to the n minus 1 is our geometric thing. So we are at 25 for A1. We don't know R, but we do know that we put in 4 to get it. And we got out 1/5. So now to work backwards, 4 minus 1 is 3. To get rid of a times by 25, we're going to divide by 25. And 1/5 divided by 25 is 1 over 1/25. And then to get rid of that, I cube root it. Don't forget, you cube root the top and the bottom separate. And you end up with 1/5. Not plus or minus because it's a cube. So then the nth term would be 25 is your A1, 1/5 is your ratio, and minus 1. And it also says to find the 5th number. Well, you can put in 5, but if you already know the 4th one, once you found the ratio, you could just multiply it by 1/5 to give you 1/25, and that is your 5th term. Or you could, like I said, put 5 in here and see what comes out. And it should be 1 over 25. And then the partial sum of the first 8 terms. Remember, when you're doing partial sums for this one, it's A1, 1 minus R to the nth power, 1 minus R. First term is 25, parenthesis, parenthesis. So parenthesis for the whole thing, then parenthesis for the top. 1 minus parentheses for the 1/5, close it, caret 8, close that out the top, divided by open it for the bottom, 1 minus 1/5, close it for the 1/5, close it for the bottom, close it for the whole thing. Some of you are having issues with parentheses, making sure that you have the correct number of parentheses in there, because if you don't, it's not going to give you the right answer, as some of you have been finding out. So be careful. Because if you don't, it's going to give you the wrong answer. And it does frac for me. So the fract answer is 97656 over 3125, or the decimal was 24992. That's the sum of the first 8. That's number 5. Number 6. First term in the arithmetic sequence is 10. The 10th term is 2. Find the common difference, 100th term, and the partial sum of the first 10. So kind of the same boat, except for now we're arithmetic. So, oops, I don't want to write that yet. So we know that the first term was 10. We know that we put in 10 to get it. We don't know that common difference, but we know that we got 2 out in return. So to figure out what the D is, 10 minus 1 is 9. Subtract 10 to both sides. You get negative 8 equals 9D. And then you divide by 9. So you get negative 8/9 is your common difference. So now to figure out your equation, to help you out, to find the 100th term, we know that the first term was, or not 100, the first term is 10. We're putting in 100 to get it, and our common difference is negative 8 over 9. It's important, again, that you put that difference in parentheses so that you show multiplication between those last two parts. Otherwise, you'll have that wrong. 100 minus 1 is 99 times negative 8 over 9. When you're multiplying fractions and whole numbers, remember it's the top times the top and bottom times the bottom, not 99 times both top and bottom, okay? So one of the things I like to do for this one is 9 and 99 cancel and make it 11, and 11 times negative 8 is negative 88, which gives me negative 78. That's the 100th term. Find the partial sum of the first 10 terms. You could find all 10 and then add them together. That's one option. Or you can use the formula a1 plus an divided by 2, which n in this case is 10. So we need to find the first term, the 10th term, and then divide it by 2. So we don't have the 10th term yet. Oh yeah, we do actually. We have it. It gave it to us at the beginning. Never mind. So we do have the first term. The first term was 10. The 10th term was 2. So we didn't actually have to find anything. They gave it all to us. So you add the first ones together. 10 plus 2 is 12. Divide that by 2. You get 6. And 10 times 6 is 60. So that's number 6. Okay, then we're skipping number 7 up to number 8. 8 says sigma, and it gives you n equals 1 to 5, and it gives you 1 minus n squared. So what it asks you to do is express it without using sigma notation, then find the sum. They just want you to find all the terms and then add them together. So 1 minus 1 squared, 1 squared is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 2 squared, 2 squared is 4, and 1 minus 4 is negative 3. 1 minus 3 squared, 3 squared is 9, 1 minus 9 is negative 8. 1 minus 4 squared, 4 squared is 16, 1 minus 16 is negative 15. And the last one, when I hammer that in, I get negative 25. Or 24, sorry. And then add them all together. So negative 24 minus 15 minus 8 minus 3 gave me negative 50. That's number 8. Number 9. Notice the difference. We did not start at the number 1. We start at the number 3. So a little bit of a difference there. So negative 1 to the 3rd power times 2 to the 3 minus 2. So negative 1 to the 3rd power is negative 1 times, and then 3 minus 2 is 1, so 2 to the 1st. I would end up with negative 2. Negative 1 to the 4th power, 4 minus 2. Negative 1 to the 4th power is positive 1. 4 minus 2 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. Negative 1 to the 5th power, 5 minus 2. That'd be negative 1. 2 to the 3rd, I get negative 8. And the last one, I put 6 in there. I get positive 1 again, and then 2 to the 4th, or positive 16. And then adding those together, 16 and 4 make 20, minus 10 is 10. So that's not 9, that's B, sorry. That's 8B. I said 9 at the beginning, but that is actually 8B, my bad. Okay. Then number 9 says find the sum, and it gives you 1/3. This is 9a plus 2 over 3 squared plus 2 squared over 3 to the 3rd plus 2 to the 3rd over 3 to the 4th plus dot 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 plus 2 to the 9th over 3 to the 10th. So you want to figure out if this is arithmetic or geometric. And again, you could figure out all of them and then add them together. That's fine, but that would be a lot. So this number, first of all, would actually be 2 over 9. This number would be actually 4 over 27. And so one of the things I'm going to check is I'm going to take the 4 over 27 and I'm going to divide it. So 4 over 27 divided by 2 over 9. And remember, when you divide, you multiply by the reciprocal. So this cancels down to a 2, that cancels down to a 3, and I end up with 2/3. That's the rate I got for when I took A2 or A3 divided by 2. Huh. If I go the other way, 2/9 divided by 1/3, do I get the same answer? Or 2/9 times 3 over 1, that goes to 3, that goes to 1, and I get 2/3. So I have the ratio of 2/3. So I know that that works. That is my common R. So when I'm finding the partial sums or finding the sum of those, remember we take A1 1 minus the R to the n over 1 minus R, because this does not go on forever. A1 in this problem was 1/3. 2/3 was the ratio. And when you're looking for how many numbers you're doing, if you look at the bottom, it goes from 3 to 3 squared, 3 to the third, 3 to the fourth, all the way to 3 to 10. That's 10 numbers. So when you type this in, 1/3, parenthesis, parenthesis, whole thing, top, 1 minus parentheses, 2/3, close it, caret 10, close the top, divided by open the bottom, 1 minus, open the fraction, close the bottom, close the whole thing. Poof, lots of parentheses. Do not skip the parentheses, because if you do, you're going to have part of it wrong. So just be careful. Take your time. And it did not give me a number for this, it just gave me the decimal. My little bit older calculator did not frac it for me, so that would be an acceptable answer. For part B, this one appears to go on forever. So if it's the case where if R is less than, remember it's the absolute value of that is less than 1, then we can continue. If this is greater than or equal to 1, it's no sum. But if it is, we take the formula, and why am I drawing a blank right now? No, A1 over 1 minus R. Ugh, almost forgot what it was. So I take A2 divided by that. So 1 over 2 to the half divided by 1 is 1 over 2 to the half. If I take the next ones, just to verify, this divided by this, okay, and then I'd multiply by the reciprocal. And if you remember a thing, that's not 2 1/2, that's 2 to the half. If you think about things like exponents, this is a 1, this is a 1/2. Who has more top or bottom? The bottom does by a half. So are they the same? Yeah. Now, is 1 divided by 2 to the half less than 1? It is. It's 0.707 something, something, something. So we can continue. If it wasn't, then we would be done. So putting it in the formula, 1 minus 1 over 2 to the half. I type all this in my calculator. Here's how. 1 divided by parentheses for the bottom. 1 minus parentheses. 1 divided by 2 caret 0.5, because I'm just going to make that a 0.5. Close out the fraction, close out the bottom, hit enter. And I end up with approximately 3.414, which I'll frac it just to see, but it doesn't come out. So that's number 9. Then number 11. Gives you 2x plus y squared to the 5th power. Asks you to expand it. You can either write it out 5 times, use the binomial expansion theorem, or use Pascal's triangle. It's your choice. But if I do 5 NCR 0, I get 1. Don't forget that that's also, I'm just going to write all these out. 5 NCR 4 and 5 NCR 5. That would match this one. 5 NCR 1 is 5, so that's 5. And 5 NCR 2 is 10, and so is this one. Then the first term was 2x, and you raise that to the 5th power, and then you decrease that all by 1 every time you go. Then
They look at me and left, are giving US.
Then I just keep going all the way down to 0. Then I take the second term and start at 0 and work my way up. So all I'm doing is just increasing the exponent as I go down on the second term. Now, when you go with this one, you're going to go straight across. The biggest thing that people mess up is they forget to multiply that. So 2 to the 5th power is 32. So that becomes 32 times 1 times x to the 5th times y to the 0 power. So 32x to the 5th. Now, in my calculator, here's what I'm going to type for this next one. I'm going to type the 5. I'm going to type 2 to the 4th, just so that way, or times 2 to the 4th, just so that way I can get the whole number right away. I have 80, and then it's x to the 4th, y to the 2nd. Again, same thing, 10 times 2 to the 3rd. 10 times 2 to the 3rd. Also 80. X to the 3rd, y to the 4th, because you take 2 times 2. 2 squared is 4, times 10 is 40. X squared, y to the 6th. 2 to the 1st is 2, times 5 is 10. X, y to the 8th. And this becomes 1, y to the 10th. So all of that is my final answer. It's 32x to the 5th plus 80 x to the 4th y squared plus 80 x to the 3rd y to the 4th plus 40 x squared y to the 6th plus 10 x y to the 8th plus y to the 10th. So that's my final answer for number 11. And the last one, number 12. It says, the right problem here, 3x minus 2 to the 10th power. All right, so it says for this one, there is a formula for this, and it says the general term. And for that, it's NCR, a to the r, times b to the n minus r. I guess I don't need that one parentheses there. I'm going to take that out. Okay. And so on the problem, it gives you that as the expansion, but then it also just says find the term that contains x to the 3rd. So what you do is you identify where the x is. X is in the first one. So I want that to be the first term to the 3rd power. And the reason for that is because it says I want it to be the 3rd, or x to the 3rd. So then, if that's supposed to be 3, and that's 10, then the second term would have to be raised to the 7th power. Because remember, those two exponents should add up to be the exponent in the original problem. Then in the front part, the NCR part, 10 is the thing, and 3 is the NCR. So we're going to type in 10 NCR 3. Take that times 3 to the 3rd take that times negative 2 to the 7th power. So 10 NCR3 gave me 120 times 3 to the 3rd. I can actually type all this in now. Times, and I'm going to put that in parentheses, the negative, just in case if it would have been an even exponent, it might have changed the sign. So I don't want to make sure I get my signs right. So I typed all that in, and I came out with negative 414,720 x to the 3rd. So you don't have to do the whole expansion, you just have to do the one term. And so that's how you do that with that one. So on that note, that is it for the review. On your test tomorrow, there's 5 problems, okay? How it works out, how it's gonna be is I'm gonna give you a sequence and you are gonna have to find the first 5 terms. Then on 2 and 3, it's gonna say, determine if it's arithmetic or geometric. Make sure you tell me, that's part of the answer. And then determine the common difference or ratio, depending on which type it is. Find the 5th term, nth term, and the 20th term. And then find the sum of the first 20 terms. So there's quite a bit to do there on 2 and 3. On number 4, I gave you an investment problem. Whether it's a annuity one or it's a investment buying or installment buying one, you'll have to figure that out. Just remember what all the pieces mean. And then number 5, the last one, it says expand the following. And I gave you an expansion problem. So I only gave you 5 questions. It says quiz at the top, but it is going to be a test. So just so you guys are aware of it, that'll be on Thursday for you. Right? Thursday. Double check my notes. Yep. So your test is on Thursday. You can make your note card, do whatever you need to do, but this is the review for you. So good luck, and I will see you on Monday. Let me know if you have any questions via email.